Cody in the morning. WSM. This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Hey, it's Friday morning. We're all smiling. The gang's all here. Kelly Sutton with entertainment. Zach Bennett is in for Charlie Mattos, who's vacationing this week. And, of course, Annie Nye, our studio director. And Jeff Roberts, rock solid, is up there in master control, making it all happen as you join us on television now at circlecountry.com, where you can watch, or perhaps you link to your favorite streaming platform from there. Just as long as you're watching, that's all we care about. Mm-hmm. We are sitting here in the Simply Superior Acuff House studio in Mr. Acuff's living room that looks out over the Grand Ole Opry Plaza, where you will be at 7 o'clock tonight.
I am. We've got an incredible show. John Party is back with us tonight. Priscilla and I have become like pals.
Y'all tight.
We're tight. We hung out together at the People's Choice Country Awards. Was it last year? But it was so funny. We just had one of those moments where we were both going to the ladies' room, and she had to get untied from her outfit, and I had to get tied into my outfit. So we're helping each other get dressed, and she had these really funky pants on that had little it looked like glitter on it, and there were pieces falling off. And yeah, of course, nobody knows any of this. But then as we left that night, I looked down, and there are little pieces of Priscilla. So I was taking pieces and texting them to her. I'm like, you're still, I will always see you here. You're here, pieces of you. So Priscilla's going to be back tonight.
Pieces of Priscilla. It sounds
pieces
like a
of
novel.
Priscilla. It really does. It really does. Sister Sadie is going to be there, so you know it's going to be great. Don Schlitz, T. Graham Brown, comedian Mike James, and Linda loves ya. Linda Davis will be there.
Speaking of glitter, we did Opry 100. Rhonda Vincent was in here wearing the
pink gown,
kind of a pinkish rose-colored gown, and it had glitter and sparkles. Mm-hmm. And we've still got glitter and sparkles. How long ago's that been?
That was in March, and the glitter is still on the couch. It's still there.
I was telling her the other day
when
she
visited. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
We've tried vacuuming. We've tried scrubbing. It's still there.
Oh, it is in the interior of my car forever and always. If I ever sell my car, I apologize to whoever buys it. So.
I don't know what the promotion is exactly, but it's 7-Eleven Day in America.
Yeah.
And Free Slurpee Day. So is the Slurpee significant? Is that a trademark 7-Eleven thing?
I think, yeah.
Must
I mean,
be.
you can always get them at 7-Eleven. Yeah. I will find out.
It's basically the same thing as an icy. It's just their version of it. Yeah.
It's also National Mojito Day, which Kelly prefers over a Slurpee.
I sure do.
Or a Mojito Slurpee, perhaps.
Yeah. Oh,
that's the ticket.
Now we're on to something. Okay.
It sounds like the radio, and some FaceTime for Randy Hart on piano, Mark Beckett on drums.
They like when they get their close-ups.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Zach Top. I ain't in it for my health.
I ain't in it for my health.
Does that not sound like?
I still haven't found if he ran with the Bulls, but I know he was there, and I know his people were running with the Bulls. I just picture him with that helmet and both of the beers on either side and a cigarette with a bull chasing him. I'm going to make that. I'm just going to do a Photoshop of that just in case, because that would be great.
That whole, I ain't in it for my health. I mean, that is like a classic Merle Haggard line, isn't it? I mean, from that time period.
It's so good. Well, hey, Dirks is in it for his health these days. He's doing Broken Branches, and he had such an epic album release party. It was in a creek. We had dinner in a creek, and they gave us really cool muck boots that had Dirks Bentley on
I never asked you what you ate. What did they serve?
Oh, it was kind of like I'm trying to think. We had some sliders, and we had like little corn cakes with pimento cheese. It was really good. Ooh. Yeah, and they had some meatballs there. It was delicious. Good. I loved it all. But all that to be said, when I caught up with him on the 4th of July, I just said, hey, you know what? That was such a cool event. I wonder how it felt for you, knowing that this is so far into your career, and you walk down and you see all of these people gathered for you, media friends, songwriters, people from your label. Here's what he had to say.
People, I think I said it there. It feels like I was walking into a wedding, And then I thought, well, at my age, it's probably more like a funeral. But I'm kidding. No, it's a celebration. It was a celebration of life, Kelly. That's what it was. But it was great. I think, you really got to celebrate your wins. I'm not very good at doing that, and I have a great team, Stephanie over there, who made the whole thing happen at the creek. You got to celebrate them, and I'm not very good at doing that. So that was really fun. We put so much work into the album, and just to have a moment where all the songwriters were there, and the publishers, and my guys that produced the record with, and friends and family. It was just a really cool moment to be like, okay, little pause. celebrate this moment, and then back on the road.
There you go. Celebrate the wins. That's what you got to do. Celebration of life is what he called it. So Broken Branches, it's out now. He's out on tour as well. So if you want to grab some tickets and go see him on the Broken Branches tour, he's got all that lined up for you. Dirk's out on the road. Hey, if you're flying anytime soon, and that includes me, and that includes Zach and some others, we're all flying around the United States.
I'm driving I-24. Does that count?
Probably better.
I'm going to Chattanooga to the aquarium and the Children's Museum and all that next week with the grandkids.
Well, you can keep your shoes on in the car. And it turns out you can keep your shoes on at the airport now.
Oh, look out.
This is all new. It's been over a decade since we've had, or actually more than that, where you've had to take your shoes off. Remember, we had the famous shoe bomber that tried to get on the plane. And
knucklehead. Knucklehead.
One guy ruins it for everybody. Well, now they've decided they've got enough screening that you can keep your shoes on. So the next time that you go through, shoes stay on. You still got to take your laptop out and do all the other stuff, unless you have TSA pre-check, which we were arguing. Sometimes the TSA pre-check line is almost as long as the regular line when you go through security. Yeah. So is it worth it?
Some airports will even put a thing up there that says TSA line this long, normal line this long. And it's like, why would I go to pre-check?
Yes. Except for you get to keep your belt on and all the other
true,
stuff too.
yeah.
So just know that.
I always like the sign for hospitals. It tells you how long the emergency room wait is.
Yeah,
in case you're going to shop around.
They used to have them all.
I'm bleeding
I don't
out.
know.
Bleeding out over here. Come on.
I've got this gunshot wound, but it looks like Centennial is way faster.
I'm sorry,
so let's
man.
go on down the road.
That'll be 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
They were briefly on billboards, and then they took those down not long after.
I would see them every morning coming in.
Well, today is 7-Eleven. It's free Slurpee Day. If you go to a 7-Eleven near you, you can get a free Slurpee. No purchase needed. It's a small one. Do you realize they have been around 98 years? Today is their 98th year, their birthday. Started in Dallas in 1927, almost as old as a Grand Ole Opry, but not quite. If you want to get it today, it's free. Walk in. If you want to get a second one, you have to be a member of the Speedy Rewards. If you're 7 Rewards or Speedy Rewards, then you get a second Slurpee for free, and you also get a tongue tattoo.
From WSM Radio, this is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Sir, we're going to have to ask you to leave, please.
It ain't the first time.
Oh, my. Ira Dean on the Assembly Food Hall stage this morning.
Good morning.
Rocking his What Would Charlie Daniels Do cap.
You
That
dang
is
right.
so good.
A
Covers up
record by the same name.
It covers up this mop underneath it. I was like, yeah, ball cap it.
No, you
Yeah.
got great hair. You've always had great hair.
It's sewn to the hat. Like Gallagher.
That'd be so great if you took it off right now.
Just slick. That'd be awesome. Fooled you all these years.
So good.
I said, you bring a guitar? You said, no, because it's on the bus, and I'm leaving here in just a couple hours.
Heading to Miami.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And tell them who you're on the road with.
I'm
what
on
you're
with
doing.
Brooks and Dunn, and we're out with Morgan Wallen for like 6 shows. So it's like stadiums. That kid is crushing it.
Yeah.
I know.
And we were just talking about it backstage. I mean, no slight to Morgan, but when I met him, he was just this little guy from, Tennessee, East Tennessee area down there. And if somebody said there's going to be a superstar in this room, I don't think I would have pointed to Morgan. I think it would have.
I think it's all in the mullet. We had Billy Ray Cyrus. We're 2 for 2 with mullets.
2 for 2.
I should have went with the mullet.
Man, not too late.
2 for 2 with stars with mullets.
Not too late.
No, it is too late. It's way too late.
By the way, if the king of bluegrass were alive, he would quickly tell you that, and that's Jimmy Martin. He's the most famous person, not Morgan Wallen.
Yes.
I meant of this era.
From
this era.
Sneedville, Tennessee.
That's right. That's right. But of this era, Morgan is certainly killing it. You said the smallest crowd's going to be what?
I think 77,000.
Wow.
Yeah, we're heading down to where the Miami Dolphins play. We got to play there tomorrow night.
So would that be your biggest crowd to perform?
Indoors, I think we just did Houston Livestock Rodeo, and it was around 77,000, which was wild because it's totally different than playing outdoors where there's 100,000 people. When you're in a venue, I felt like what was that movie with Russell Crowe where they let the tigers loose and
Oh, yeah,
That's what
Gladiator.
Yeah, I felt like Gladiator. It was just packed, and the stage revolved, and I was just like, they're going to release lions on us. I feel it. I felt it. I was like, play the whole time. Oh, this is crazy.
So, what's your background with Brooks and Dunn? It's really more with Ronnie, right?
Yeah,
Kicks is,
yeah. Well, me and Ronnie became friends when Trick Pony was on that tour in 2003, and then we kind of lost touch. And then we were at John Carter's wedding in Charleston, South Carolina, like 7 years ago or something, 8 years ago, and we connected. And he's like, you know how to coyote hunt, don't you? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, come over and teach me. And then we ended up spending the day just writing songs in a blind. And then we've just been writing ever since. So we became really good friends. And I was going to go out on the road and write with Kix and Ronnie on the tour. And then Ronnie's like, why don't I just put you to work? And I need a high singing bass player. You want to just do that? And I was like, let me check my schedule. And I think there was one show I couldn't do. And he's like, we'll sub it out. And that was it.
Man.
Now I'm out there singing high.
What's your favorite song to perform?
That Ain't No Way to Go. I just think
That's a good harmony for you,
that's
too.
high.
Yeah, that's up there.
That's high as it gets.
He is just so recognizable.
He is singing better now than he was singing in 2003 when I was on tour with him.
No kidding.
He is killing it. I mean, he is. I don't know what it's in the water or the whiskey. I don't know, but he is crushing it. And those two guys, man, it's like playing 90 minutes a night with like the soundtrack of your life. I remember the first time when I first moved to town in 1990, I had a Chevette with no floorboard in it. I told you about that. And I was driving down Gallatin Road, and their first single came out, and I pulled over on the side of the road. And I was like, listening to Ronnie going, man, I have no future in this town.
What am I doing
I
here?
was like, man, it's crazy. He's such a singer.
You know, there's such a camaraderie between those two. They play off of each other well on stage, and it's such a well-oiled machine. Were you nervous at all to become a part of that? Because the band's been with them for years. I mean...
Yeah, I'm the newest guy, I think. No, not really. Okay. No, I was more nervous like 2 years ago. I was writing with Ronnie, and he got off the phone. He goes, you still play bass? And I was like, yeah, I own one. You know, what's up?
Yeah.
He's like, can you sub at... Fort Worth Arena, like next week. And I was like, just send me the stuff. I was more nervous then because I was still reading charts, going, I hope I don't screw up too bad. Because the bass, it sticks out. With guitar, you can wait like a second, go, okay, it goes there, and then play. Bass, you got to be dead on. So I was more nervous then. But playing for 70-some thousand in Houston was pretty, I never get nervous. But that was like, I'm like, 77,000 people are going to hear me hit the wrong note sooner or later tonight.
So when
They're singing at the top of their lungs.
Yeah.
They don't even hear it.
Yeah.
What was the great line he delivered, Ronnie, when you interviewed him recently, Kelly, where he said, that's the mystique of the aura of my mystery, or so remember?
I can't remember, but yes.
He's over the top.
Well, he's so dry, and I'm like, please tell me you're joking right now. I think you are, but I'm not 100% sure. I mean, the best thing, I was asking, like, where do you guys keep all your trophies and everything? And, you know, Ronnie's like, I don't know, they're in storage somewhere. And Kix is like, well, I put them in my car, and they're in the back seat, and if you're driving around and you see me, I'll show them all to you. And I'm like, that just perfectly defines both of your personalities right there.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I know about the dry sense of humor because it took me about a year to realize, because he texts you stuff and you're like, man, he sounds mad.
You're like,
You know,
wait.
he's like, Craig Wiseman called and he's suing you. And I was like, what?
Oh, no.
You know, stuff like that. We wrote a song, Craig Wiseman says it's too much on this, so he's suing you. And I was like, okay. He's on his way over here right now. I was like, what the heck? And I called him. He's like, I'm like, thanks, buddy.
That's fun. That's fun.
Well, Charlie Daniels.
Yeah.
A quote from you I read, and Ted Nugent, who was working with you on this too. Charlie Daniels wasn't just an artist. He was a way of life and an important part of my life. And when you were here the last time promoting your solo album, you talked about really kind of a life-saving moment, maybe backstage at the Opry.
It was backstage. I think it was in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
It was early on in Trick Pony's career, and I was a wild man back then. And we got done playing the show, and his road manager came out, and he said, Charlie wants to see you. So I was like getting Keith and Heidi, of Trick Pony. I was like, hey, Charlie wants, and he goes, no, he just wants to see you. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went back there and we talked, about, we're both from North Carolina. We talked a little bit about that. And then he had the first, like, I thought I was fooling everybody. And he had the first intervention on me. He was like, so you want to talk about your hands shaking? And I was like, what? He's like, you want to talk about that look in your eye? And I was like, huh? And he's like, man, you forget. I hung out with Skinner. I know that look. And he said, there's a better way. And we talked a lot about it. And then, there's people that say they'll pray for you, and then they kind of do it in private. And he was like, you mind if I pray for you? And I was like, no, not at all. And he took a knee and took his cowboy hat off and put his hand on my leg and my shoulder, said a prayer for me, have strength, and lead me to the light. And years later, I opened up for him as a solo act. I could see him out of the corner of my eye watching, that big thumbtack hat of his, And I got done. I walked off stage, and he was like smiling. He grabbed me by the shoulders. He goes, I can see you now. And he's like, you got that light in your eye. I haven't never seen it. And I was like, thanks, man. So it was a great moment. He's great, dude.
So what was the catalyst for writing What Would Charlie Daniels Do and your connection to Ted Nugent?
Well, I met Ted at, I put a charity event on in Fort Myers, Florida for the Hurricane Ian victims. And I called everybody that I knew, because we had this huge arena and we put on a free show. And I called Skinner, and Skinner headlined it, and I called Nugent, and Nugent said I'm in because he had a place in Naples, Florida, and he saw the destruction down there. And John and Rich, Tracy Lawrence, Gavin DeGraw, golly, everybody was there. And we sold it out. We raised $1.5 million for the hurricane victims because it was bad. You didn't get to see it on TV here. I don't know why. But Jim Brewer from Saturday Night Live, he lives down there in Naples. He hosted it for me, and everybody did a great job. Well, I wrote this song called "What Would Charlie Daniels Do?" because actually I was driving down Briley Parkway. I got flipped off by a dude. No, it was a white Porsche. It wasn't a whatever the heck I said it was. But he was mad at me for something. And I'm like, yeah, all right. And he was just mad. He didn't like my truck. He didn't like me. And he had California plates. Imagine that. Nothing against California, though. I don't want to get those guys mad at me. But I started me and Jeffrey still got together, and we just started writing this song about, we were looking at the world today, and there's so much hate, man. There's so much hate and division. And Charlie was a proud American. He loved the flag. He loved the flag. He loved, the Constitution, the First and Second Amendment, but he also loved the Bible and the words written and read. And he was not ashamed of it, and he didn't apologize for it, And I was like, I wonder what Charlie Daniels would do right now, kind of thing. And we just wrote this song, and the second verse came up, and I said, I'm one of those don't give a damn, live off the land Ted Nugent fans. And so that made the song. And I immediately sent it to Ted just to say, hey, man, I hope it's cool. I gave you a little hat tip in the song. And he called right up. And he's like, are you cutting this? I want to put a solo on it. And then, he's only got one speed. It's just on. And Charlie,
all of a sudden he's producing it, right?
Oh, yeah. He was off to the races.
Yeah.
And then Charlie and Ted were friends. Ted used to do the volunteer jam with him all the time. And Ted's a proud American. And so we cut the song. I called Ted and I said, hey, man, I'm ready for your solo. And he goes, I can't. It's deer season. And I was like, dude, I got to get this thing done. And he was down in Waco, Texas. And I said, man, when I deer hunt, I go in at first light, come out about 10, and then I go back in the woods like 2 or 3, until last light. He goes, yeah, I do the same thing. I said, so you got like a 4 or 5 hour window, right? He's like, yeah. And I said, I'll see you tomorrow. And so I called Noah Gord, my producer, who was living in Muscle Shoals. I jumped in my truck. And on the way to Muscle Shoals, I called Noah. I said, hey, get a Pro Tools rig together. We're going to Waco. And he's like, what? I said, Ted Nugent's putting a guitar solo on this thing tomorrow. So I picked him up. We drove 13 hours down to Waco. I got in at like 5 in the morning. We got a hotel, got rooms. We crashed till about 9. Got up, went over there about 10:30, and he came in with his camo, grabbed his guitar, and he said, okay, play it a couple times. All right, let me try this. And that was his solo's the first take. He gave us 3 takes at it. And the first take, he just nailed it. And he goes, well, we're done. And I was like, yeah, we are. And then we ate backstraps wrapped in bacon, and he went back in the woods, and me and Noah jumped back in the car, and then Noah bowed out in Dallas. He goes, hey, drop me off at the airport. I'm flying. So then I was like, thanks, man. And I drove back home. So,
there it is.
That we lived up to the album title, I Got Roads, that day, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what would Charlie Daniels do is all over the world. Ira Dean, Ted Nugent, and you on WSM Radio and Circle Country Television.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Our longtime friend Ira Dean sitting on the Assembly Food Hall stage, and what would Charlie Daniels do with Ted Nugent just before the break there on Coffee, Country, and Cody. So you were part of that celebration, where our series that we call Opry 100 Honors, and we honored Charlie this
Yes, it was amazing. Everybody did such a great job, and it was great seeing Hazel and Charlie Jr. backstage.
Yeah, Hazel's birthday too, right, Kelly?
Yeah,
was.
well, she was 82.
We all sang happy birthday to her.
She's still a firecracker.
Oh, I know.
I love it. I love her.
It was really cool just to have so many people. I mean, as much love as everybody saw from the front of the stage, what was happening backstage was really special too, because everybody back there from his crew, you know, he had 40 plus people that he was employing, and they were all there. You were there, songwriters and friends, and everybody just hugging on each other. It was a really special night.
You know, Thurman Mullins, Doc Mullins, is his ranch manager. Been with him forever. And he sent me a picture. His daughter actually was going through some pictures that her dad had sent her through the years. And that day, she sent me a picture of the two of us in Acuff's dressing room from 2017.
Wow.
I think it was, just out of the blue. I love that. It was just such but I remembered it as soon as I saw it. I was like, I remember exactly what was going on in that moment when we took that picture.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was hatless, which you didn't see that a whole lot.
No.
You see a few around. But
Yeah.
Right. Oh, my goodness.
So the last time you were here, we were talking about I Got Roads. We referenced that a little earlier, your solo album.
Yeah.
And how did that all come about?
I got Rhodes. Well, I've been lucky after Trick Pony. I had a few solo deals, and then the record labels would close their doors. But I was great. If you want to close your doors, sign me.
Can I tell you a great story from songwriter Hall of Famer Aaron Barker when he came to town? Barker. He had a deal on Atlantic, and he lost his deal on Atlantic. And he said, I was on Atlantic, and so was the Titanic.
He's so great. He is so great.
He's awesome.
But go ahead anyway. I interrupted your album story.
So Noah Gordon, who I met, he used to own a studio called Big Studios, and he met me back in my Crazy Wild days. Jamie Johnson was cutting In Color, that album, and I was passed out on the couch from a long night before. And Noah said, he met me, he leaned over me, he goes, "Are you okay?" And I went, "Oh." And he said, I opened my eyes and just went, "Oh my God, I'm late for a phoner." And then I had to do a phone interview. But he called me up out of the blue, and he's like, "Man," and I just got done doing Aaron Lewis's Am I the Only One, Afraid at Both Ends album, and the new one. And he's like, "When are you going to make your own record?" And I was like, "Man, I don't know, man." He goes, "No, I'm serious. I got a label, and I want you to do an album over here." And so we talked about it, and I said, well, if I did it, it would have to mean a lot. You know, I want to write songs. Every song's got to be a chapter of my life, the good, the bad, the broken, the blessed, all that stuff. And I said, I want to record with everybody I never got to record with that changed my musical compass along the way, you know, since I was a kid. And he's like, let's do it. And so, you know, we started out with Ronnie Dunn and Vince Gill and John Osborne. Even though John didn't change my musical compass, I just did a show with him, and I thought he was amazing. And we had a great time.
Extraordinary,
so
yeah.
We did that song, and then that led to, you know, I called Steve Ferroni from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. He flew in and played, and, you know, it just, the list went on and on and on. And then finally, I was like, the Ted Nugent thing, I've always wanted to record with Ted. When I was a little kid, I wanted to be like my brother, and we were so broke. We were broke as a joke when we were kids, and so my brother would get an album, we had to share it, you know. My brother came home with a Cat Scratch Fever, and Ted Nugent on the cover with a guitar like a gun. And back then there was a magazine called Cream Magazine, and it was all the rock stars, and you had to read about them. We didn't have video or internet. And I'd see pictures of Ted Nugent in a loincloth riding a buffalo on stage and shooting an arrow. And I just was like, this guy is the most entertaining guy I've ever seen in my life. And so fast forward, you know, I was like, I'm going to call Ted. And I wrote What Would Charlie Daniels Do? And I called him. And, man, he's just nicest guy on the planet. And he probably knows more about rock and roll. You can go to rock and roll college around that guy. I mean, he just sits there because he jammed with Hendrix back in the day. And
my.
So he's been doing this stuff since the early 60s, 62. And so he's talking about all these bands, and you're just sitting there, and he could tell you, the string gauges of people's guitars and what amps they used and what microphones. And I just sit there and just.
So a photographic memory of sorts.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Big time. Makes me wish I never drank. Might be able to remember something. But he's amazing. And I have these little meta glasses that video, and I wear them on the Brooks and Dunn tour, because I just video like the whole time I'm playing while I was there. And so he started talking about that stuff, and I just started videoing, and it's just amazing how great of a memory he's got. So it was awesome. And the album's doing great. And we were talking earlier, the What Would Charlie Daniels Do video was #1 in all genres. And it's doing amazing. So, and part of the proceeds of What Would Charlie Daniels Do goes to Charlie Daniels' charity, Journey Home Project,
okay.
Which Charlie would have loved that.
Yes,
so
he would have.
It's man, if you like it, download it. If you don't, download it and give it to your friend.
There you go.
Just download
Just download it.
That's the key.
I got Roads. Download that album too, and that video, and that single.
So good.
There you go, my selfless plug.
It's perfect.
When you were here last, you did it acoustically. We're going to close with it from the album. You and Shelley Fairchild together.
Best singer on the
A
planet.
song for your mom, right? If
Yes.
I'm correct on
Yes.
missing how it used to be.
Yeah, my mom was great. We lost her 2 years ago, and I wrote that song with Dave Turnbull right after she passed, and I didn't want to write, but Dave, he doesn't take no for an answer. And so we wrote that, and I played it, and people just responded to it, I guess. And so we cut it, and I called Shelley, and she sang on it, and the rest is history, I had a good mom and dad, but they're both gone now. They're up there with
Remind me
Charlie.
their names.
Mary Jean Dean, the dancing machine. That was my mom, and then Owen Dean was my father.
And that's Ira Dean from the Assembly Food Hall stage. It's Coffee, Country, and Cody all over the world on WSM Radio at 6:50 a.m. and WSMRadio.com. And you're watching at CircleCountry.com all over the world, or a link to your favorite streaming platform from there. That's where we'll close. Go easy in Miami, all right?
I will. I only got one pace. It's like snail pace now. I live such a clean life now. It's pathetic. I'm so boring.
And if
We
you missed
like
it,
boring Ira. though.
Yeah, boring Ira doesn't get arrested.
We like boring Ira.
and if you missed it earlier, out with Brooks and Dunn, and then later with Morgan Wallen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. On Coffee, Country, and Cody.
From WSM Radio. This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Ooh, I like that kind of Max Headroom thing we just did there by accident.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. Hey, Coffee, Country, and Cody with Kelly Sutton's entertainment to take us home. Zach Bennett in for Charlie. Andy Nye is our studio director, and Jeff Roberts is in master control.
Yeah. And I'll be back here tonight. So we got a big show. Curtain goes up 7. Not 7:01, not 7:02, right at 7 o'clock.
0000.
That's right.
Yes, and if you think they will hold it,
You are incorrect.
think again.
Yeah,
That
very
show
incorrect.
is going. I love that about the Opry. You can. So many things are in flux in our lives.
Except for that.
7 o'clock. Showtime.
It's happening. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what's been going on at the Opry, including Steve Earle becoming our newest Opry member. We got a date.
It's the fall, right?
It's happening September 17th, y'all. Oh, here it is. Look, there it is. There's Vince just interrupted him like, hey, buddy, what are you doing? You want to come over and hang out with us? So it's going to be happening September 11th. Emmylou Harris officially will induct him into our family, the Grand Ole Opry. Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a good time for anybody who wants to be there. Tickets are on sale right now. You can be there live to watch it all go down.
Hey.
I love talking to him side stage.
Oh, yeah.
He's so fun.
He's brilliant.
He's scary
truly,
smart.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
very scary smart.
You have John Party, Sister Sadie, Don Schlitz, T. Graham Brown, comedian Mike James, Linda Davis, and Priscilla Block, whom I just got an email from her publicist, has apparently done they call it a fiery Jolene-like version of Simon and Garfunkel's 1970 hit, Cecilia, You're Breaking My Heart.
Oh, I bet it's great. I can't. Oh, maybe she'll do it tonight.
I'm sure she will.
Okay.
I'm sure she will. I hope she does.
I love her so much.
Put in a request.
She's so much fun. Yeah, so make sure that you tune in tonight. It's going to be a good show. Okay, let's talk about what's coming up in the fall. We already said September 17th. You can come to town. You can watch Steve Earle become a new Opry member. If you want to come back in November 11th, very cool thing that's happening. This is called Hometown to Hometown. It's Old Dominion and Leanne Womack. It's going to be at the City Winery, and it's so cool because this is one of those events that raises money to help save the music. It's going to save the music that gives $75 million to public schools all around, more than 2,800 public schools over the past 27 years. And I got to tell you, this is one of those, you're going to love to be in the house. You're going to love to hear it, but then you know your money is also going to a good cause. So those tickets are on sale. Again, November 11th is when that is going to be happening. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what's going on with Kenny Chesney and all of his so very many plaques, y'all. So many plaques, so little time, so little wall space. Where's he putting all this? I don't even know. 105 million certifications from the RIAA, 22 new certifications. Overall, he has reached now 7 multi-platinum albums, 16 multi-platinum singles, 51 songs achieving at least gold status. And Kenny said those kind of numbers just almost don't exist. He said, really, who's counting that high? But when you see the size of the plaques, then you realize just how big this really is. It's bigger than me, and it reaches so many people. So in case you were wondering, the 5 times platinum albums, No Shoes, No Shirt, No Problems, When the Sun Goes Down, and Greatest Hits. So those are at the top of the list.
So 5 million each?
And then we work our way down. And you've got The Road to the Radio, The Road and the Radio, Just Who I Am, Poets and Pirates, Hemingway's Whiskey is up there, American Kids, You and Tequila with Grace Potter, and it just goes on and on and on. And he just wrapped up everything that was happening at the Sphere. If you didn't see him, he has announced he's going to be back at the Sphere next summer, so you can go check him out in Las Vegas for that show. And hopefully take a Dramamine so you don't feel like you're going to get sick, because it is very big and spacious. If you're making plans and you want to go somewhere tropical, you know, about January, February is when we start looking at each other going, why do we live here?
Yeah,
it's cold and rainy.
It is dark all the time.
Gray. Well, we got it all figured out. We're going to Crash My Playa, 11th year. It's already set up. Now, in the past, he's had, you know, Jason Aldean and Kane Brown and Lainey Wilson and everybody. He has not announced who will be with him this year, 2026. I say this year, but the new one is 2026. However, if you've been in years past, you can buy tickets today. It's that like skip the line kind of thing. You know, you get the fast pass. And if you didn't, and you still want to get tickets early, Monday they have something called the Blind Faith Sales. So you don't even know who's going to be there, but you know you want to go and have a good time. You can buy those tickets on Monday. Again, Crash My Playa, the 11th year for it, happening this year. Well, 2026, so next year.
Zach just checked, and yes, Cecilia will be a part of Priscilla Block's set tonight.
I'm so excited.
I was trying to remember the lyric. It's Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. You're shaking my confidence daily. Yeah, that's it. All right. It's Coffee, Country, and Cody all over the world on WSM Radio, Circle Country Television. Always great to see you, Zach. Thank you, man. And Annie Nye, our studio director. Thank you, Jeff Robertson, Master Control. Of course, Kelly Sutton right here. Sister Kelly on Coffee, Country, and Cody. Enjoy your weekend. We'll do this again Monday.